know that the expectations could not have been higher for your group. How do you feel that they've handled those expectations from first day of fall camp until today, especially because it is a fairly young group?
Yeah, I think they keep the noise out. From a competition level, they stay grounded because of that. They're all fighting for that one spot, and they know if anybody goes down, the load is going to get heavier. And so I just think that they've handled themselves professionally, kind of kept the noise out a little bit, and know they need to live up to the expectations that's on them, especially coming from last year.
Hey, Shaun, Chris Carbon, son of a source. Just now that you've worked with these guys another whole off season, from a skill standpoint, what are you kind of seeing from those top three in terms of maybe things that they're even doing better than last year or weren't as developed at last year?
I think that was a point of emphasis for us, is to work on the weaknesses, and not be labeled the big back, the slasher back. Try to make sure that they're a well-rounded back on all three of them. So they've been very good at working at that, and I think you'll see that I can put and plug in any of those three at any time, and they'll get the job done.
And what about Daniyel in particular, the areas of growth that you've seen from him going all the way back to his first spring to now?
He was hindered a little bit by injury that first spring. His confidence level is up there. I thought he probably had the best fall camp coming into it. And so he's competing right there along with the two of them. And it's good because it keeps those other two unsettled, knowing that competition level is right there. And Daniyel's creeping up, and I just like what he's done in the fall camp.
I know, Shaun, sometimes for walk-ons, it's hard really to stand out, especially when you have some talented scholarship players. But George Hart is somebody who's really, I thought, stood out quite a bit in fall camp. What are your thoughts about him?
No, absolutely. His daddy is a coach in Louisiana. A very bright kid, had offers to the academies, and decided to come to ASU. Had a walk-on opportunity at LSU as well, and just wanted to come out west. He's been a great addition to our room. Same personalities as the other guys, and so we just keep adding to that room. DeaMonte is doing the same thing, and so we just got a good group right now, and just hopefully from a depth standpoint, we can keep it there.
Shaun, I know you said in the past that you like to ride the hot hand. Do you have any sort of goal of how many snaps that you want to get these guys in the first game, or will it be a play-it-by-ear situation, or how do you look at that?
If we get a goal of 75 plays to 80 plays, we're trying to get each one of them probably about 20, 25 plays. Hopefully one of the walk-ons that we take are able to get a feel of the game as well. They know that it's going to be a long road, and I'm going to keep the tread on their tires, and so they understand that concept of it. But if somebody gets going and takes off, again, I'll ride that hand.
And if they're all playing well, including Daniyel, into the meat of your schedule, is it conceivable that you could play all three guys a number of meaningful reps in some of those games?
Absolutely. I think because we personnel some groupings and things like that each one of them will have a chance. I wish we could play with 2 or 3 balls, to tell you the truth. But I like the way they go about attacking the season. And now this is a mock week for us, and then next week will be a full gained week, and they're attacking that just as well. So.
Shaun, a couple weeks ago, Herm used a comp of Marcus Allen when talking about Rachaad White. I was wondering if you have a comp that you would runner you would compare Rashaad's style to, and your thoughts overall on Rashaad as he enters this year, coming off his big season a year ago.
Yeah, probably an Alvin Kamara type guy that you can use out of the backfield. Marcus Allen, that's a lofty goal, and I told Coach, I said, that's a lot of pressure for a kid. But I think that Alvin Kamara type, he's out of the backfield, can be in the slot. He does everything well. Is a great returner, and I think that's gonna help him in the next step to hopefully getting to the next step in his career.
We talk about the high expectations for the running backs. It's not only just returning experience from last year in the backfield, but also in the front five. What have you seen from this offensive line in terms of their progression, even from the spring to fall camp, let alone from last year to right now?
I think that their communication has gotten a lot better. I think they have a feel of their strengths and weaknesses and how they're going to play off of it. I think Donovan is taking more of a leadership role on making calls and things of that sort. Linemen, especially these ones, kind of get goofy at sometimes, but because they hang around and live together all the time, I think that cohesiveness is going to be really good for them this fall.
Just given how productive that you guys were last season, and Rashaad 10 yards per carry, and what you guys did in the Pac-12, do you even talk about stats at all as a group, or goals that you guys have in any sort of way that can be evaluated, or is it just about just doing the best that you can on every rep basis?
Yeah, we talk about the quality of rep, not the quantity of rep. The big thing with our group is they're so win driven. They really don't care about their stats. And it's funny because we talk about the hot hand. Whoever has the hot hand, they know who that's going to be. Sometimes on a rotation, they'll sub each other out, knowing who's the guy that has a strength for that personnel. And so I just think that it is more quality than quantity, and hopefully with that quality, we'll get that yards per average. But the main thing for us is to win.
Yeah, and the last question, given especially your experience as a head coach, how much value is there in having guys that can stay fresher at that position toward the end of the season, just given your ability to divide the reps?
And that's something that I was thinking about earlier, being a head coach too. How do I get our team at the ending of the season just as strong as the beginning? And I fooled around with a lot of the rest, and do I lift them all the way through? Do I make them condition a lot in the beginning and then taper off? And what has worked, I think, is making sure they have fresh legs by the rotation, and being smart at practice. And I know you guys are there the whole time through, but I rep kids, giving one kid the full load one day, the next kid a full load the other day, and kind of rest them in between, and not trying to win the championship right at practice, giving them full loads, making sure that they're healthy.
Appreciate you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ryan.